Welcome to InkThinks, and oh my gosh, let's just talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, cause Sakurai must have been working himself to death to be able to get this much content out for us in such a short period of time. We've gone from people thinking that this would just be a port to what we have today, the biggest Smash game in history. And if you haven't seen the latest Nintendo Direct, first off, go watch it. It's amazing and full of unexpected twists and turns, and it was just a complete joy. Second off, I'm gonna go ahead and say spoiler warning for the Direct. Okay, if you're still here, then let's move forward. At the end of the Direct, Sakurai showed us this scene. Now, if you've been paying attention during the trailers, you would know that they are full of characters getting killed or becoming spirits. Even though all the deaths were shocking, nothing can quite top the mass carnage that happened here. We see all of our characters, except one, being completely destroyed Thanos style. Sakurai told us that this fateful day is when all the characters became spirits, and when the journey to bring them back into the real world began. He also told us that this is how it starts, but it's up to us to figure out the rest of the story. There are so many questions. Why is Master Hand destroying all of the characters? What are the wings that the hands are coming from? And who on earth had the stroke of genius to turn Piranha Plant into a character? Seriously, no one saw that coming. Well, I have the answers to all the questions and more. Well, I guess not Piranha Plant, that one's still a mystery. But I have pieced together the story by watching this cutscene over and over, looking at past games, analyzing the song that came at the end of the trailer, and so much more. So stick around if you want to hear the true story of what's happening in this cutscene. To answer the question of what happened, we first have to establish something. The characters that we've been playing with for all these years are nothing but a child's toys. We can see evidence of this in the intro to Super Smash Bros. 64, when the toys come to life out of a toy box, or in Melee when a hand grabs the trophies. But the biggest evidence for it so far is when Sakurai outright confirmed this theory in the latest Direct. So yeah, the characters are toys, but this leaves the question, if the characters are toys, then who's Master Hand? There's been a lot of discussion about the origins of Master Hand, but the most widely believed theory, and the theory that I personally subscribe to, is that Master Hand is actually the hand of the child who's been playing with the toys. If you look back at the same cutscene in Smash 64, you can see exactly what I mean. The hands that take these toys out of the box is none other than Master Hand himself. Master Hand represents the child and his love for these toys. He takes all of these favorite characters and he builds playsets and builds epic battles between them. He does this for the sheer love of the characters. In Smash 64, the child pulls out his favorite plushies. He doesn't have a ton of characters, but the ones that he does have are dear to his heart and they come from Nintendo classics that he's likely grown up playing. Mario, Link, Pikachu, and Kirby. Remember Kirby, he'll be important later on. As Melee comes around, our child's tastes have expanded. He's moved on from plushies to awesome trophies. He's moved from his limited roster of favorite characters, adding in new favorites like Bowser or Peach, but also expanding to new games that he had never previously heard of, such as Fire Emblem or F-Zero. But what so many people gloss over is that he discovered much more than the 26 playable characters in Melee. He also found 290 various collectibles of the different games he's played in the forms of trophies. Once again, this is important, remember it. And then we move to Brawl. Our child's grown older and discovered even more characters and even more trophies, including franchises from companies he had never been exposed to before, such as Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid or Sonic from Sonic. All seems fantastic for our child, until the emergence of this guy, Taboo. We see Master Hand, who, remember, is our child, in chains, being controlled by Taboo, being held back by Taboo. Now, not only is this scene impactful, but I think that it's deeply symbolic. The word taboo means something that's prohibited or restricted by a social custom. Kinda like playing with toys when you grow older. Taboo represents society telling the child that he has to stop playing with these characters that he's loved all of his life, and it's only through an immense internal struggle where these characters are able to free Master Hand from these chains and allow the child to continue enjoying these same things that he's always loved. Now jump forward a couple games to Smash Ultimate. We see Master Hand once again, only something's different this time. It's not just one hand, but an army of hands move forward from a pair of brightly colored wings. Except the hands aren't as bright and full of energy and movement as they have been in past titles. They're dull, subdued, and lifeless. These hands are moving towards our characters, trying to get a hold of them, trying to grab them, trying to hold on to these characters that they've loved for so long, when they disappear and are absorbed into the wings. We then see the annihilation of each and every one of these characters that we've grown up to love. Not just the characters either, trophies are destroyed too. Believe it or not, trophies are completely tossed out of this game. They're gone. The child's gotten rid of his trophies and he's slowly getting rid of each and every one of his favorite characters. Now the actual destruction of these characters is actually very important because it is not Master Hand who destroys them. It's the wings when Master Hand gives up and absorbs into them. This allows the wings to shoot out deadly beams, destroying each character. This leaves us with a question. What are the wings? Well, let me tell you. First, let's take a look at how Master Hand disappears. He dissolves into a blue energy that we've seen before in the form of Taboo. This means our child is giving up on his favorite characters and allowing society, or Taboo, to destroy his childhood. Now let's get to the wings. The wings themselves symbolize the child's realization that he's too old for toys. The wings represent ascension, or being lifted up into something greater. The child is no longer a child. He's leaving his childhood behind and rising to adulthood, lifting to adulthood. The taboos that were enforced on him in Brawl have now become ingrained within him. He no longer needs to be controlled to leave behind his toys. He's surrendering to society and doing it of his own free will. In fact, if you look at the color scheme of the wings, it seems very, very similar to the color scheme of Taboo himself. If we go a bit further, we can find out that the wings are actually a character named Galeem. Interesting thing about this name, the word Galeem is actually the present tense form of the Latin word Galeo, which I don't speak Latin. I don't know if anyone speaks Latin. I don't have any idea how to pronounce this word, so I'm going to say Galeo. And that word means to defend myself, or to cover with a helmet. Galeem is literally trying to defend the child from his own childhood by throwing it out. We can see this defense when you try to reclaim a spirit. They literally have shields up that you have to get past in order to reclaim the spirit. Anyway, getting back to it, one by one, each and every character and every trophy is taken out of existence and out of his mind and is turned into nothing but a memory, or as they call it, a spirit. All of the characters are gone. All of the characters, that is, except one, Kirby. Kirby was likely the child's favorite character, and try as he might, he couldn't completely kick Kirby out of his heart. This is especially meaningful if you buy into the theory that the child in Smash is actually Sakurai himself. He was the creator of Kirby. The character was just too dear to him. But when Kirby returns to his mind, he finds all of the other characters gone. We see in the video that Mario, one of the child's original favorite characters, has been bound by that same blue Taboo energy. The taboos that the child has now embraced are driving Mario away until he finally falls into a cold, colorless, lifeless shell of the character that he used to be. He's lost all meaning to our child, and he's actively turned against Kirby, trying to kill off the last bit of childhood our hero has left. He's actually become evil because the child now views toys as bad and something that adults shouldn't have anything to do with. This leads us to the story mode, or spirits mode. Kirby is going through each character, reclaiming spirit after spirit, trying to reunite them with the child. As Spirits mode progresses, the kid starts to remember how much fun he had playing with all of his favorite characters. It may start off with Kirby fighting Mario, and he remembers all the fun that he had doing that same battle between Kirby and Mario when he was a little child in Super Smash 64. As the mode progresses, he remembers more and more of the franchises he loves. He rekindles the memories and his passion. He's even opened himself up to new franchises like Splatoon that only help to reignite his passion. It's very, very likely that the final fight in Spirits mode will be against Galeem, the Wings. It will represent this great internal battle between our hero's inner child and his desire to stick to societal norms. It's only when we destroy these wings that the child realizes that just because he's grown up, it doesn't mean he has to completely leave his childhood behind, and he's left to experience more joy with these characters than he ever has before. This is a message I really relate to, and I'm sure in some way we all relate to. I'm now a married man, soon to be a father. I work a full-time job, and I often have the feeling that I'm too old for these games and for these characters that I've loved my whole life. There have been so many times where I've been forced to leave parts of my childhood behind and give in to these taboos so I could live the life of an adult. I had to stop playing the games as much as I used to so I could take care of my family. I had to sell my GameCube so that I could buy groceries, and I had to stop competing in Melee because it took up so much of my time that I had to use for more productive things. And in a way, this is just part of growing up. But just because you grow up doesn't mean that you have to completely leave your whole childhood behind. You can still hold on to your favorite memories in your heart. I keep my passion for Nintendo alive by making videos on this channel, and each of us have our own little ways of honoring our childhood, and that is what Smash Ultimate World of Light is about. It's about the light that emanates from each and every one of these characters, returning to our lives and keeping our childhood alive. When you listen to the lyrics of the theme song, Lifelight, it becomes increasingly clear. This game is about the light of a childhood going out in the heart of ourselves, and the battle that we have to go through just to keep that light alive. Just listen to some of these lyrics with that context. I'm gonna just say a few lines for you, but I really encourage you to go listen to the whole song. It's up on Nintendo's website now. Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a past still unnamed. Bear this torch against the cold of the night. Search your soul and reawaken the undying light. These little sparks cling on to life, everyone caught in the struggle. And then the storms of change, they fan the flames, scattering ashes to the wind. Every soul contains a whisper of light, gleaming faintly as it dwindles from sight. No escape, no greater fate to be made. In the end, the chains of time will not break. Light will guide you on your way to the ultimate fight. This has been InkThinks, and if you liked this video, or if you agreed with me, then consider subscribing. I'm still a pretty small channel, so it would really mean a lot to have you here with me. Let me know in the comments below if you believe this theory or if you have one of your own. While I'm at it, I want to invite you to join my Discord server. It's super active and it's full of awesome people, and we've got a whole channel dedicated to discussing Smash spoilers, so I would love to hear your theories there. I'm on there every day, so I will be there to talk to you. And until next time, stay smashing.